Artemis II looks strangely unimpressive at first. No moon landing, no moonwalk, no flag moment, just 4 astronauts looping around the moon and coming home. Which sounds important, but not history-changing. That impression is completely wrong. Because Artemis II is not a spectacle mission, it is a proof mission. It is the moment NASA has to prove that its entire modern deep space system actually works with humans on board. The Space Launch System, or SLS, is the giant rocket. Orion is the spacecraft designed to carry astronauts beyond low Earth orbit. Artemis II is the first time that full system is being tested with a crew in real deep space. Not in simulation, not on paper, and not with a margin for fantasy. That is the first big aha. Most people think the hard part is landing on the moon. It is not only that. The hard part is building a transportation system that can take humans out of Earth's neighborhood, keep them alive, let them operate effectively, and then bring them back safely at enormous speed. If that transport layer is not trustworthy, nothing after it matters. No lunar base, no sustainable moon program, no Mars pathway, just very expensive ambition. And Artemis II is testing exactly that. NASA says this mission is designed to demonstrate capabilities needed for deep space missions. During the flight, the crew has been testing how Orion behaves in deep space, including manual spacecraft handling, communications constraints near the moon, and how the spacecraft, crew, and biological payloads respond beyond the environment of low Earth orbit. That is not glamorous. It is much more valuable than glamorous. Think of it this way. Artemis III gets the headlines because that is the mission people associate with astronauts returning to the lunar surface. But Artemis II is the exam before the exam. It is the bridge between an uncrewed engineering success and an actual human exploration system. In plain English, Artemis I proved the vehicle could fly. Artemis II has to prove people can trust it. And there is another reason this mission matters more than it seems. It makes the Artemis program real in the public mind. Programs often feel abstract until humans are suddenly inside the machine. The moment 4 astronauts launch, speak from deep space, fly behind the moon, and come back, the project changes category. It is no longer a future promise. It becomes a living program with consequences, momentum, and political weight. That matters because Artemis is not just a NASA mission stack. It is also an international architecture. Canada is on this flight through Jeremy Hansen. Gateway, the future station around the moon, is explicitly built around international partnership. Artemis is also tied to a broader diplomatic framework through the Artemis Accords. So Artemis II is doing more than testing hardware. It is testing credibility. Partners can commit more confidently when the system stops being theoretical. There is also a subtle historical point here. Apollo was astonishing, but it was built for a sprint. Artemis is trying to become infrastructure. That is why Artemis II can look less dramatic while actually being more strategically important than people expect. Apollo asked whether humans could reach the moon. Artemis asks whether humanity can build a repeatable deep space operating system. Those are very different questions. The second one is slower, less cinematic, and arguably more important. And right now, Artemis II has already given that argument real weight. NASA says the mission has completed its lunar flyby and begun the return trip to Earth. The crew also surpassed the record for the farthest human spaceflight distance from Earth, edging past Apollo 13. That is not just a fun headline. It is proof that human beings are once again operating farther from Earth than anyone has in more than half a century. So why is Artemis II much more important than it looks? Because it is the mission that turns Artemis from a concept into a functioning human system. No, it does not land on the moon. It does something more fundamental first. It proves whether the road to the moon is real. If you enjoyed this deep dive, like and subscribe to join the Mind Sprints community for weekly deep dives. And here is the real question for the comments. What matters more for the future of spaceflight? The first dramatic achievement or the boring mission that makes all later achievements possible?